Hello, and we're back.
Hi, thank you for joining us or rejoining us. Episode 4 of Chatting Pitch. Leslie, you were going to say something. We were talking before recording, weren't we? About
We're talking about a few things like UK's biggest theme park, Alton Towers, and showers, and Kung Fu Panda 4.
And road rage.
And road rage, yeah. We're not going to get into any of those things, but it was an interesting talk. And then we realized, hey, maybe we should talk when recording. So we hit the record button.
And I'm hoping that the recording last episode was sufficiently good. I'm in a new room on my quest to get the perfect vocals. I'm in my son's room at the moment because you said that you should be in a room that has lots of stuff.
Yep.
Because that, I believe you said it absorbs all the bad sound.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to gooder it. I'm going to make it good.
I've made it gooder by being in a room where there's lots of stuff because he has got a lot of toys.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. It does sound less echoey.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it sounds way better. And yeah, I think maybe from now on, your new studio is your son's bedroom.
He'll love it. He'll be there at that time.
Amazing.
Shh, be quiet, son.
Yeah. Don't tell mummy I'm recording a podcast. This episode is sponsored by
Matthew's son.
Matthew's son. What are we talking about today? We're talking about brand movies, the new craze that's sweeping the nation.
Yes, I didn't realize until you suggested it that there are a lot of these, or they have been a lot of these films coming out. Maybe the last year or two, we had things like the Blackberry movie and the movie about Air Jordan and Tetris and
that's right, Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Yeah,
yeah.
And of course,
which
the
was
big
directed.
one,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
by Christopher Nolan.
What, the atomic bomb one?
Oh, that's Jonathan Nolan.
Jonathan.
Oh
Nolan.
no. We're thinking.
No. I'm talking about Oppenheimer.
I was thinking Fallout because I'm watching Fallout at the moment.
Oh, okay. Which Nolan were you referring to?
I wasn't referring to the Nolan that directed the Cheetos movie, of course.
the Flaming
Hot Nolan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just imagine there's a lineup on the red carpet, and there's Christopher Nolan,
right,
with his flask of tea and his nice suit, and then you've got Jonathan Nolan with the American accent. Yep. I don't know if you've heard an interview with him. It's very strange thinking that they're brothers because they look very similar, but their voices
literally
are different.
I don't know if we watched the same video today, but enlighten me. Which video did you watch?
It was a while back. I think it was like a Westworld interview.
Oh, okay. I was watching a Fallout interview this morning, and it was him talking about what actually happened at the end of Dark Knight Rises, and it's like, really? We're here to talk about Fallout, and you're talking about a movie that came out.
I'm here in the jumpsuit. I'm wearing the jumpsuit for you. I want to talk about my favorite vault.
He's dressed up as Robin. Like, was he Robin at the end?
What, the interviewer is dressed as Robin?
Yeah. Oh, you think Jonathan?
And it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
He takes off his mask at the end, and you realize it's him. But for the most part, it's Jonathan Nolan not realizing. It's one of those prank videos.
Yeah.
Where someone, like Christopher Nolan's in the earpiece, trying to get him to say things. So we're talking about brand movies today. So why don't we talk about some of our favorite brand movies, and then afterwards we'll pitch ourselves a brand movie. Cue the jingle. Cue the jingle. We spoke about Air Jordan movie. It was literally called Air, right? The untold story, or the truth, or there was some sort of tagline. Yeah, the legend begins.
The true legend.
Did you see that one?
Truth. No, I was going to say the first part of this podcast is going to be mostly you because I have not seen a single brand movie. But then I actually have.
You have.
I don't think you can avoid them. Well, I mean, there's the big ones that are still brand movies, like the Lego movie and Barbie. Quite a successful one. They're making Monopoly now, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I think those ones are more kind of like is it so much of a brand movie, or is it more of an IP? Because Barbie
Oh
is owned by
yeah,
Mattel. So if you made the movie about Mattel, then that would be the brand movie, right? So
yeah.
that doesn't really count. But I am sure you have seen The Founder with Michael Keaton, right?
Oh
That's a
yeah.
brand movie. The
He is so good
McDonald's.
in that. That is a brand.
That's a
So yes,
brilliant
sorry,
movie.
brand movie is not. Yes, like you say,
Yeah.
it's not. We've got an
Not
IP.
intellectual property.
Yes,
It's
yes,
the
yes.
brand itself. So, say for
The
instance, if
making
you
of the
made,
brand, the
yeah,
making of the shoe.
well, the new craze is the IP movie, right? So your Barbies, they're going to make a Hot Wheels movie. They're going to make Monopoly. Those are
They've been
IPs that
talking
are,
about the Hot Wheels movie for as long as I've been alive. I
have they?
swear.
Since when?
Every so often it
Right.
comes up that you'll just hear someone say they're making a Hot Wheels movie, and then nothing comes of it.
For me, that one is the Akira live action movie.
Hmm.
That's been on, like, there was talks about Leonardo DiCaprio being in it, Martin Scorsese directing. At some point, Jordan Peele said he was going to do it.
Yeah.
And now I think Taika Waititi says he wants to do it, but nothing's really happening. I think it's in development hell, to be honest with you.
They
But we're
should
not here to
combine
talk
them,
about
Akira and Hot Wheels.
that. We're not, what?
So they can do that
Akira,
famous shot of Akira's the one with
yeah,
the
the
bike,
bike
right?
scene. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you could just have that, but with a Hot Wheels thing. You just hear someone like me.
It's just that with all the cars for an hour and a half, the same slide over and over again.
Yeah, directed
Yeah.
by a flaming hot Nolan.
So going back to brand movies, you said you've seen The Founder. Why don't we start off with that one? You've seen it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I think it was great because it was clearly not a movie that was subservient to the brand. I think there are possibly some brand movies where the people who are in charge of the brand also have a say about what's going to be
Right.
shown.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know. With a company as large as McDonald's, maybe they did have a bit of a say over things, but overall, you get the impression of the man who founded McDonald's, you know, legally with all the paperwork. What
Yeah.
was his name again? Oh, I have to look it up now.
Oh, Mr. McDonald.
Leslie. Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? It wasn't. It wasn't.
It
'Cause there
wasn't.
that-
It was Mark Keaton buying it out of. Was Nick Offerman playing the
Nick
guy?
Offerman was one of the brothers. Yeah, Ray
Yeah,
Kroc. Yeah, because there's that great scene in the movie where he talks about how his name would never be able to open the same restaurants. Like
Right.
if you had McDonald's but just changed it to his name,
Mhm.
Crocs. And there's that
Which
great
is-
scene. I think it's them in the.
That's the sequel to The Founder, the Croc movie.
But then McDonald's just got way out of hand. He's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm stuck doing this now.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make Crocs. And then we go
Well,
into
thanks a
the
lot.
Crocs movie.
Thanks a lot, Matthew. Now I really want to eat at McDonald's.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you
It's-
really wanted to wear some comfortable
Wear some
but
Crocs.
ugly footwear.
Have you ever owned a pair of Crocs?
No, but I've tried them. My dad has a pair.
Yeah. Do you like them? Yes or no?
They're fine. It's like a lot of these sorts of things where a shoe,
I do feel like, yeah,
a shoe cannot be as good as the advertisements make out, because advertisements, same for things like your Air Jordans and Crocs. I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just imagining like Kobe Bryant on the basketball court in a pair of Crocs, just bossing it.
well, if they paid them enough money, then
Finish that thought later. Yeah, yeah.
because I saw an interview the other day of Michael Jordan talking to some network television that I think Nike offered more money than Adidas, but before he joined Nike, he was all about Adidas. So Adidas couldn't afford Michael Jordan, so now he likes Nike.
So now he likes Nike. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Nike now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Dave Chappelle was like. Be honest with you, Pepsi and cola taste the same, but Pepsi paid me more money, so Pepsi tastes
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think the advertisements, they make out that this shoe is going to cure cancer. Like that's how good it is. So when
Right.
I wore a pair of Crocs, I thought, well, yeah, of course it's underwhelming because they advertise
There's
it
too
as
much
the
hype.
comfiest shoes ever.
Yeah.
But with Crocs, it's all about the comfort, isn't it?
Well, it's not for the look, really, is it?
No, it's not going to be for look.
You're wearing Swiss cheese all over your feet.
I thought I'm going to stick these Crocs on, and I'm going to be floating around the house.
Hmm.
But I still had to walk like a sucker. So severely
Where are the
underwhelming.
wheels?
3 stars. Where are
Yeah.
the wheels and the little lights? But anyway,
did you ever
should we talk
own
about
a pair of sorry,
should we talk
Heelys? Do
about
you remember
brand
Heelys?
movies that I was going to say, should there be a Heelys movie?
Heelys movie. We'll talk about that in the second section. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll note that down so we can go back to it. Heelys. So yeah, I think The Founder was one of the first ones to do it because that was a movie that came out like 2018, 2019, maybe even earlier. I can't remember, but I remember seeing that, thinking like, who's going to want to watch a movie about McDonald's? And I watched it, and I thought, oh, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And
But
then
it's because it's not so much about the brand. You don't spend too long learning about
movie,
the McDonald's,
right? It's
system.
a sport movie for a brand.
So do you think this is the Founder is a sports movie for people that hate sports movies?
Potentially, yeah. But it's the same format, isn't it? It's kind of like a rise to fame story, and then at the end there's a blurb that says McDonald's made 6 million around the world or whatever.
Yeah, I suppose it's similar to how crime movies used to be decades ago, except without that bit at the end where studios were almost forced to show that crime didn't pay.
Right.
So the criminal would be locked up or would die, or something that would end.
Is that how The Founder ended?
Well, no, I'm saying that the Founder had the same sort of structure, but without that ending.
Without that ending, yeah.
Because the ending is essentially a very subtle screw you to the brothers.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to pay you some money, but it's pocket change to me.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to sit here and just barefaced lie to you, and then when I am honest to you, it's going to be a screw you, essentially.
It's quite like a bittersweet ending in a way, like which is quite similar to the Blackberry movie that I've seen recently. I got to see it on the plane a couple of months ago, and it was quite good. It was quite good. I think Glenn Howerton plays a great CEO.
Okay.
He doesn't channel Dennis Reynolds until like certain scenes where he needs to kind of like go full on anger. But for the most part, he does a really good job. Don't think he needed to shave his head for it because he just looks strange. Like I think I'm used to seeing Dennis Reynolds like character
with the full head of hair.
But then I could just see that he shaved his head for the movie, and I was like, okay. I think whoever was in charge of hair in the movie might need to step up their game because Jay Baruchel's wig is awful in the movie. He plays the guy. Is
it a hair movie?
Is it a hair movie?
Do you know what I mean by a hair movie? Like how what's that Christian Bale film where he plays
he plays hair.
He plays a head of hair. American Hustle.
I haven't seen that one.
And all the characters have got very distinctive hair.
Okay.
Bale especially, because he's got that intro sequence. Did you say you hadn't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
So there's the sort of the opening.
You can go ahead and tell me. It's fine.
Well, this is the opening 5 minutes, and it's just him making sure that his comb over is perfect, or as perfect as a comb over can be. And it's like, okay, you're going to tell us things through these hairstyles. Is Blackberry one of those?
Not really. No. I mean, I think it's mostly just because is American Hustle, is it based on a true story?
I'm not sure.
So if it wasn't based on a true story, then that I guess what's the reasoning behind the hairs? Is it to differentiate different characters, or
I guess maybe make them out to be larger than life? Or
no pun intended, their hair is an extension of their character.
Oh, definitely with Bale's character, yeah, because he's a bit of a dodgy dealer,
right?
Yeah.
What's it about? I know that it was all the talk of the town when it came out, but was it a good movie?
Let me find.
I get that one confused with The Big Short because they came out around the same time and it both had Christian Bale in it.
It was a while back. So I can't really remember much.
We're watching Matthew Google right now.
Okay, Bale plays a con man, and he's got along with his seductive partner Sidney Proceur, is forced to work for a wild FBI agent. So, yeah. It's a couple of con artists who have been sort of almost outconned by the FBI, if I remember, and they've sort of caught them, and it's essentially you're going to go to jail or you're going to help us out.
Right. Okay. Cool.
It's pretty good.
It's good.
It's
good
pretty
movies.
good. Really good performances.
Who was the director?
It was a David O. Russell.
Who's famous for? Did he do
Silver
Silver Linings
Playbook?
Playbook? Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Which makes sense for Bradley Cooper then, because he was. Oh, and Jennifer Lawrence. They were both in the same sphere.
And Bale came back for that other one that didn't do so well with Margot Robbie.
The Big Short.
Nah, not the Big Short is.
It's about stocks, right?
Yeah, that's Adam McKay.
The stock movie. Oh, that's another brand movie that I watched the other day. Although I don't know if it is a brand. I watched the GameStop Stock Money.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
The movie. What was it called? Dumb Money. That's it. Is that considered a brand? Because it was about GameStop.
I guess
it was more about the situation surrounding GameStop.
Yeah, I think a brand is involved, but unless money is a brand.
That was quite good. I enjoyed that one as well. I think you might enjoy that one.
Okay.
Okay, so we talked about the founder. I briefly talked about that other one that I just mentioned. You haven't seen Flaming Hot, have you?
No.
No, neither have I.
Which brand is that?
That's Cheetos.
That's Cheetos, okay.
Yeah, Cheetos Flaming... Not the other one directed by Jonathan Flaming Hot Nolan.
The biography. The touching biography.
Apparently, this Cheetos movie was actually directed by Eva Longoria and in her directorial debut.
Oh, okay. That is not something I would have imagined in a million years.
Yeah, but I think it's because the movie is centered around Latinx, kind of Latin American characters who I think Eva Longoria is. So that goes hand in hand. It's also a Disney movie. So you know what Disney people are like.
Is it quite Disney-fied?
I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, of course.
I should watch it, but I heard
it's quite good. I keep
getting
confused when we went in to see Flaming Hot, the
Jonathan Nolan one. Yeah. Speaking of Jonathan Nolan, I actually watched, completely sidetracked, nothing to do with brand movies, by the way, but I watched the first episode of Fallout. Have you seen Fallout?
I've seen the first 3 episodes.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah? You think it's got that Westworld vibe to it?
With a bit more of a sense of humour, I think. There are bits in there. I don't know why, I just really liked... You say you saw the first episode?
The first episode, yeah.
There's a moment where, the horrible raiders are in the vault and they're just trashing the place. And then there's just a guy eating wedding cake. I don't know why. I can just imagine he's been sat there the whole time while they've been pretending to be these Vault 30 whatever people, acting all nice, and he's like, I'm getting my hands on that cake.
Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the first episode, but cake happens. No, I really enjoyed it. I thought, there's obviously a lot of hype and expectations going into it because Fallout is quite a beloved franchise in the video game community. I've never played any of the games, so I have no point of reference. But when I watched it, I thought, it was good. It's made me want to watch the second episode, not like 3 Body Problem.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be something that we're going to keep referencing every episode.
Oh, I actually just want to forget it ever happened.
Moving on swiftly back into brand movies. So we both haven't seen Cheetos. I've seen Blackberry. I think there's another one out there. Tetris, that's right. I've seen Tetris.
See, these are all on Apple, right?
Not all of them. Apple did Tetris, and they did I don't think they did Blackberry. Did they? Cheetos is Disney. Air is Amazon. And I think all these companies are
they just picked their own
battling
brand.
against. Yeah. So, what do you think about these brand movies? Do you think there's
Vine version 2 are doing a Slazenger movie? They've all got their own. What do I think?
Who's doing? What's that? Say that again.
I said Vine version 2.
is doing a Slazenger
Doing a
movie.
Slazenger movie. It's just 6 seconds of people grunting on repeat again and again.
Very good. Very good.
Winner of 8 Oscars.
Is Slazenger like the most well-known tennis brand then?
I don't know. It's just right there in front of me. We're not sponsored by Slazenger.
Okay. I wish this episode was sponsored by a brand, and then we could make
yeah.
our pitch could have
immediately
been
after
brand.
we talk about how soulless a brand movie is.
Yeah. So I guess we can move on to the next section where we pitch our own brand movie. I really want to get that out.
I really want to stick in that Gillave, a best a man can shave advert instead of this jingle.
Yeah. If I could dig it out, I'll put it in.
Mate, that would make my balls.
I'm just going to say it right here. If I can find the advert, then I'm going to insert it right now. If I can't find the advert, then we're just going to go into the mid-break jingle. So we'll let you guys find out.
Right.
Right now.
Now. In a moment. There.
This year is the year of the next generation of Razor. When every day is a struggle to show the world just how good you can be, you need Gillave Turbo Nuclear Atomic Fusion Power Blades. Gillave! Small drops of uranium placed in each razor ensure reduced friction so you don't feel a thing.
Damn, that's smooth.
Inbuilt satellites guarantee you never get lost.
No way!
And you can even watch Hyper HD TV for free on the 40-inch screen attached to each razor.
Hell yeah! Hot damn!
Make sure you impress your woman for a few minutes with
Gillave! The best a man can shave!
We did it!
We did it!
We solved world
Maybe,
hunger.
potentially we did it. Hopefully we did it. But yes, let's talk about our own brand movie that we would do. I guess the best thing to do to start off with is to look around the room.
This is Leslie's creative process.
Yeah, look around the room.
And Leslie is just look around the room. I mean, you've got Sega behind you. I can see.
There's Sega. Yeah. There's Pac-Man, which is Atari. You know what I would love to see the story of? It would be this right here.
Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
What is Tim
do you know what a Tim Hortons is?
I don't know what Tim Hortons is.
Okay. So Tim Hortons is a Canadian coffee brand / donut shop. So I guess it's like the Canadian version of Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
Right. So I went to Canada once and went to Tim Hortons.
It's so much nicer. Sorry to interrupt, but it's such a nicer word than Dunkin' Donuts.
Tim Hortons, yeah.
Yeah, like America is like, I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
In Canada, it's like, we're going to visit Tim Hortons.
Do you want some Dunkin' Donuts, boy? Yeah, that's how they say it.
No, thank you.
That's what I imagine Ben Affleck does, like walking around downtown LA.
That's how he talks, really.
Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts.
Why do we have to teach drillers how to be astronauts?
You can get 2 for 1. But Tim Hortons is the Canadian version.
This here asteroid, and there was just donuts and coffee.
Oh, we're still going. Didn't we talk about Armageddon last episode?
We did, I think.
We did, yeah.
I don't know why we're making out that Ben Affleck's really thick, because actually we were totally in support of what he said about Armageddon.
Exactly. No, I have nothing against Ben Affleck. It was just a cheap joke.
Yeah, it's just a really cheap joke. You know what he's really good in? I always forget if it's called The Last Duel or The Final Duel.
Oh, The Last Duel.
One with Adam Driver.
Adam Driver, Matt Damon, and that lady that's in a lot of stuff. Jodie Comer.
Jodie Comer.
Yeah. Very tough subject, I remember hearing about. Yeah. Very dark and serious, but you would recommend it?
Oh, definitely.
That's a Disney movie, technically.
Yeah, I guess.
I remember seeing that on Disney Plus, like being advertised. And I'm like, oh, what's this? And I looked it up and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. And then
Yeah.
I'm not
The
saying
most magical place in the world. Yeah, go ahead.
come into my castle. Yeah, Ben Affleck is not the reason that it's amazing, but he shows up in sort of short scenes, and he's very good. He's a bit of a not very nice man. But
Is that a hair movie?
No, that's not a hair movie.
I remember seeing some people with some interesting hair.
They have interesting hair, but it's not a hair movie.
Okay, so there's a criteria for a hair movie.
I think the hair has to accentuate their character,
Okay.
who they are.
The Weird Al movie.
I haven't seen the
Is that
Weird
a
Al
hair movie? It's a great movie.
Okay.
That basically so talking about biopics and brand movies, like the Weird Al movie is a parody of the biopic movie.
Okay.
So you think it's going one direction, and then it just goes off to another direction, and like you don't realize it's happening until it happens, and you think, oh, I don't remember that happening, and he just runs with it, and it's great.
Is it everything that I wanted Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man to be? Because is that really released around the same, like maybe a year after each?
That's just, I don't want to ruin it too much because like there are some good jokes about it, but do you mind me talking about parts of the movie at all, or would you like to go in blind?
I don't think I'm going to get to see it.
Okay, so let me just say this. There's a plot point in the movie where Weird Al, played by Daniel Radcliffe, he is I think he gets very famous for the song "Eat It," and then he he goes out and releases it, and then turns out Michael Jackson has parodied "Eat It" into "Beat It," and there's this big lawsuit.
I love this movie already.
So it's like an alternate reality of like what actually happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I quite.
Okay.
That's why I like.
It's that sort of movie.
It's that sort of movie, yeah.
Okay.
It's like the Naked Gun for biopics.
Okay, that's wonderful.
So going back to what we wanted to do.
So Tim Hortons, yes.
So my idea for a biopic would Tim Hortons would be great because I actually really like Tim Hortons, and I think it's mostly because of nostalgia. I went to Canada and had my first Tim Hortons, and I really enjoyed it there. I was very tired and I needed coffee. And I also ordered some Timbits, which is their donut balls. They're just little balls in a box.
Tim's Bits. Very good.
And you don't have to commit yourself to a whole donut. You can just have a little tiny piece. And it's great. I think Dunkin' Donuts do their own version as well, called like Dunkin's Bits, which doesn't sound quite as good.
They're bigger, but they come already like slathered in like some sort of sauce, and it's just not very nice. It tastes like it tastes like soy. It's actually not very good.
Yeah,
there's a saltiness.
Sticks to the roof of your mouth. Ugh.
Yeah, crunchy bits of caramel. Ugh.
But what's interesting about Tim Hortons is that it's a company that was created by a hockey player named Tim Hortons. So he was a famous hockey player back in the 1950s, I think.
Right.
And he created a donut and coffee shop. And then that just got turned into a franchise. What the story is I don't know. But at one point, a hockey player created a coffee chain in Canada. And then it branched out to the whole entire world. And the UK is starting to get a bunch of Dunkin'. Whoa, Freudian slip there.
Whoa.
Tim Hortons.
So are you saying that we are going to do a sports / product movie?
Product movie. It could be a hybrid. Whether it'll be funny or not, probably not. But it seems like, if we're going to...
It sounds like the true story was famous person opens a store and it goes well. So I think we need to inject some...
I'm just going to stop you there.
Go on.
I'm going to stop you there, sir. And I'm going to let you know that that's what I would like to see as a biopic movie, but not necessarily something that I would make. So maybe we should switch gears and think of something that we should make into a biopic / brand movie. Matthew, do you have any ideas?
Oh, yes, several pages.
Go for it.
I made them in the shower. We might cut that bit.
Hey, Leslie, come over here. Look what I made in the shower. What am I looking at?
It's just like a little heart, but also loads of notes. They're washing away.
Yeah. And little feet that you've made from your hands. Like, you ever done that? You ever made little feet with your hands?
They're walking
in
the direction that the notes go in.
What have you made in the shower, Matthew? Tell me.
I thought we could go sort of Bohemian Rhapsody with it, where it's a very British production, but it has some Americanisms in there.
Okay.
So I was thinking Gregg sausage roll.
Hey, yes, that would be. I was literally having a Greggs the other day.
Well, there you go. See, it's ubiquitous. I have no idea what the backstory is behind Gregg's, so I've just made one up. I think we start with a rich guy. This is where the Americanisms come in. A rich guy from Britain, but for some reason he lives in Bel Air, and he's got like other places around the world, and he's got celebrities clamoring for selfies. And I think we could probably convince, with the money, of course, we could probably convince someone like maybe Conan O'Brien and Adam Sandler just to show up for a cameo, to be like, "Hey, Mr. Rich Guy, can I have a selfie? Oh, it's so great being your neighbor. Let me trim your hedge," and just to show how people love this person.
I think Adam Sandler would be quite funny to be just randomly in a Greggs movie.
Turning up in a Greggs.
The thing is, with Conan O'Brien, like, I think it's great to see him in a movie, but then I can only always see him as Conan O'Brien acting. Because I watched a movie the other day where he turns up in a movie, and I was like, oh, it's just Conan O'Brien.
Is he playing himself, or is he playing a character?
He's playing someone's dad. So he has a beard, he has glasses, and he's doing a character. But it just feels like it's Conan O'Brien going like, I told you not to do this! But like, he's got this thing about like, when he acts, he's overacting.
Right.
So it doesn't feel like a character. Whereas like Adam Sandler, I know that he gets a lot of shtick, but he can be quite a good actor sometimes.
He gets a lot of stick for his shtick.
For a shtick, yeah. I saw him in a movie the other day. I'd never watched this movie before, but my other half decided she wanted to watch that night. And she said, it's such a dumb movie, I wanted to show you. And I was like, you've sold me. What is it? It was Rob Schneider's The Hot Chick. Did you ever watch that movie?
No.
Have you seen it? No. So Adam Sandler turns up at one point and is a bit character where he plays a stoner who tries to sell you crystals.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I found his character quite funny.
Right.
It was just he looked like he had like dreads. He was
I bet. Did they just throw everything at him?
In a way, it was more
like
like
hair, makeup, and clothes, and
no makeup. It was just Adam Sandler, but he was just wearing a wig with like a big hat, like a Rastafarian hat.
Sure.
And he was he doesn't do his usual, he doesn't do that. He just goes like, oh yeah, so he was like quite he dialed back
something different,
and something different. And he's like, the one joke he does is just he's trying to sell you this trinket box, and he goes like, yeah, so this thing came back from the Jurassic period, and if you open up this, you can put your weed in it. And it was just that over and over again. Okay. And he goes like, oh, and this one, and then he goes into this really, really big, elaborate. It was almost like a Shaggy Dog story, and at the end, he goes, and here you can put your weed in it.
Yeah.
And I found that quite funny. I was like, it was amusing. So we want that character in this Greggs movie.
I was just going to say them playing themselves.
Playing themselves, yeah.
Because you have not sold me on that Rob Schneider.
Sorry, Matthew. I was trying to be funny.
Oh, no. I think you were dragged down by the fact that you were talking about a Rob Schneider movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to just throw stones without any wit or anything, but I don't understand. I don't get it.
You don't get Rob Schneider?
I feel like I'm missing something. I watch him and I'm like, what is it? I feel dumb watching it because I don't understand.
Here's how I feel about Rob Schneider. I feel like Rob Schneider got famous because he was friends with somebody.
Okay.
Who managed to convince the studio heads to cast him in the movie. And then because it was so weird, they kept giving him movies, and then they realized, okay, this isn't working, so they stopped casting him in movies after a certain period. Because like, when's the last time you heard about a Rob Schneider movie?
Well,
in the early 2000s,
he made a Netflix thing, I think,
which nobody liked.
Semi recently.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to just spend several minutes just ripping into someone. I just wanted to say I'm just at a loss.
yeah. I'm certain that he's not for everyone, and he's definitely not for me either. Because I watched the movie and it had its moments, but it was so dumb, man. The whole movie just. Do you know what the movie's about?
No.
So it begins. Do you even want to know?
No.
Maybe let's just move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Okay, Greg, talk to me.
I'm sad now.
Do you want? Okay, let's get Conan O'Brien back.
Yes, I'm so happy.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man, but not him in the now famous Hot Ones clip.
Did you watch that?
I've seen most of it. Yeah, the bit at the end where he's like drinking
where
it.
He just goes feral.
Oh my god! And I just kept laughing every time he was like, "Do you mind?" And he just put another wing in his pocket.
Did you like it? Did you like the episode, or did you think it was a little bit too much?
No, I loved it.
Oh, great. Because I like Conan O'Brien quite a bit, and I found it very funny towards the end. But like, there are some people who just do not find him funny, and I can understand why. It's not their type of humor, I guess.
Mm.
But like, it was the moment where he wasn't even answering a question. The interviewer just like said, "We're going to move on to the next section." And he just stared at him with tears in his eyes and like hot sauce dripping down. And he goes, "I'm fine. I am absolutely fine." And he's clearly not.
Yeah.
His face is blushing. He's
and he gets his doctor out and he says he pays him in lottery tickets. That's why he hires him. And
he's not great. He's just very inexpensive.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Conan O'Brien is in this and Rob Schneider is not allowed anywhere near set. Yeah, this really rich guy. I don't really have a name for this rich guy. We'll come up with one later. Frank. We'll call him Frank. So Frank's really rich, but secretly, he knows this, but no one else knows this. His company is on the downturn. So he needs something new to add to his sausage empire. Because at the moment, it's just sausages.
Okay.
Enter Tom Hardy as Gregg. Comes in really shifty. He's got a new invention that will change everything. It's kind of like a Dragon's Den thing.
Okay.
Where Frank, the rich guy, is almost doing open auditions. Come and impress me, and you can be hired into my multi-conglomerate company. So Tom Hardy comes in. He's
single name Monica. No surname, just Gregg.
Yeah, just Gregg. Yeah.
Okay. He
comes in, he's really shifty. He's usually got pastry on his face. It was burnt butter. In that sort of very deep sort of Tom Hardy. You know, when he's got like the shifting shoulders and he's got his hands in his pockets and he's doing that. He's doing the Tom Hardy thing. And then he reveals his invention, puff pastry casing. Nothing ever in the world like it before. We know that puff pastry did exist before that, but in the world of the movie, puff pastry was invented by Gregg.
What was the name of the bakery before Gregg?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Frank's, I guess. F comes before G. Frank's.
Okay. So
and
Frank's gets rebranded.
Yeah. Do you like how I had to say the alphabet out loud there?
Yeah. Because otherwise, how are you supposed to know what comes before G or after G?
Pressures of modern life.
What comes after P? Go ahead.
So, yeah, he reveals his invention. The camera tracks closer to the rich guy. Just a little bit closer, because it's already a close-up. And he smiles and he says, "You're the guy I've been waiting for." Cut to montage of, like, Gregg. Like, Tom Hardy's really overacting because there's no dialogue in this bit, 'cause it's a montage. And he's, like, showing him how to make puff pastry. He's, like, shaking it. He's like, "Look, see?" And then he's got banks of people working for him. And Tom Hardy's, like, going down the production line. He's pointing and he's saying, "Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good." And then he grabs some pastry and he throws it at someone. It just falls apart, and he says, "It's not good enough." And then the combo of the high life and the pressure of creating the perfect pastry, perfect combo, leads Gregg to start drinking heavily. And then one day there's a breaking news story. in the way that there are breaking news stories about the product
Yep.
on worldwide news in these
Of
sorts
course
of
there
movies.
is. Yeah.
There's sort of phone footage of Gregg drunkenly announcing that the sausage rolls. He's like, no more puff pastry. We're going to do shortcut crust pastry, and the whole thing just goes into meltdown. And Frank, the rich guy, demands Gregg in his office, and his underling is like, "When should I schedule the appointment for, sir?" And he's like, "Half an hour ago." And then they come in and they have at it. And then eventually everything smooths out like smooth puff pastry.
Nice.
But eventually, this is the twist.
Yeah.
Eventually, the guy that we've been backing in the movie, Gregg, he's the hero of the story.
Yeah.
Because he's had this taste for the high life. And then he learns that the original sausage recipe isn't patented.
Oh,
And
no.
neither is the puff pastry.
Oh,
And
no.
he gives into temptation.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's going to do. And then it cuts to Frank. He's about to open the stock market. Gregg's is about to go public. And this is big. Because this is Gregg's, isn't it? Puff pastry.
Yeah.
The only place to ever have puff pastry in the history of humanity.
Uh-huh.
But then Gregg shows up, and instead of his usual attire, he's got no pastry on his face. He's got like an 80s designer suit. He's got slicked back hair, a couple of rings on each hand.
How many notes do you have?
A couple of rings on each hand. And he quietly lets Frank know that he's got the patent for everything. He's like, "Your sausages are my sausages. And my pastry is still my pastry."
Okay.
So he knows, Frank knows, and Gregg knows that Gregg is going to get all the money once the stock market opens.
Yeah.
But Frank's there, he's on TV, it's breaking news again. So he feels forced. He's got to press the buzzer or pull the lever or whatever it is that starts the... Do they like honk a horn? Hee-haw, hee-haw. Stock market's open. And then everyone's celebrating, everyone's happy but him. And then it's like, yay, capitalism. And then Gregg's opens, and that's the story.
Yeah. And then what does it say at the end? There's always a blurb at the end. Gregg's went on to
Frank had to sell his mansion to Gregg through intermediaries because they don't speak to each other anymore.
Yeah, Frank now lives with his mother.
Frank lives with his mother, who passed away a long time ago. Mm-hmm. That's how bad it is that he's living in the grave with her. Meanwhile, Gregg has gone on to star in hit Hollywood films such as Venom and
Gregg's. And then at the end, it's just Gregg's, the Tom Hardy story.
Yes, that's exactly what I had on my notes. The end.
And there's one thing I want to go back on. You know, you said that there is the montage with him doing all the stuff in the
making the puff
bakery,
pastry,
making stuff. Right. You need to have.
It's not hot enough. You know,
there has to be a great song during the montage sequence, right?
Oh yeah.
So what's the song? Something that works for baked goods. Some sort of like, I don't know, Tom Hardy, Cockney. You know, I'm assuming the whole tone of the movie is based around that movie Legend that he did. Is that the same tone that you're going for?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Did you type in songs about baked goods?
I just typed in baking songs.
Like, hot apple pie. I don't know. There's American Pie, but this is an American story, is it? It's a British story.
A British story, but set in America, I guess.
Yeah.
There's one called Get Your Biscuits in the Oven. That could be the metaphor. Get your patents into the patent office. Get your biscuits in the oven.
Yeah.
You didn't get your biscuits in the oven, did you? Did you, Frank? Now honk the horn and make me loads of money.
The end. Oh, that was halfway through the movie. And then all the rest of the stuff happens, and then the end. Yeah. Very good. Cool. Great. I think that's the end of the episode. Thank you, Matt. Was that the end of your notes?
This is how we have very different preparations.
Yeah, I looked at something and talked about it for a little bit and then decided to abandon it very quickly.
You looked around the room, saw a mug for Tim Hortons and said, "Hey, do you like Rob Schneider movies?" Meanwhile, I
come full on prepared. Came guns blazing.
It's different ways of managing things.
Honestly, that movie writes itself. It's
What,
I think
Tim
it's got dollar
Hortons?
signs. No, not the Tim Hortons one.
Okay.
Well, I guess your one didn't write itself, but I guess the rest writes
No,
itself.
I wrote it in the shower.
You did write it
I'm
in the
going to
shower.
make as many references to the shower as possible, so you can't possibly,
Sure.
you can't cut around it.
What's a popular shower brand?
Oh, I don't know. Gregg showers.
Greg's. There is one. It's called like a Mirror, right? Mirror showers. Because Mirror is like a mermaid.
Oh my god, the first one that came up is just, it's in all capitals. It's Grohe, but in my head I read it as grow.
Yeah, make a movie about that.
Make a movie about what? About grow?
Yeah. How do you pronounce
when you turn the thing to turn the shower on, you just hit grow.
Grow? And it's voiced by Vin Diesel. Yeah. Anyway, if you like this episode,
That's when you turn the temperature up.
I think that was pretty good. I liked it. I like your
They
grace.
also make hair dryers. So when you say grow,
They also make very squeaky doors.
but they do not make that noise.
Yeah. Or like
They make this noise. Burlington bathrooms.
Very good. If you like this episode, listen to the outro and we'll give you all the information you need.
I don't think. Did we have a sponsor for this episode?
I wish we did.
Man.
It was Gillave, right?
Yeah, the best a man can shave.
Yeah. Anyway, see you next week. Oh yeah, Jerry Bruckheimer. Joel Silver, please, if you're listening.
I got my microphone on top of a big Jenga stack. Does that help? Maybe that's what helped with the recording quality.
Yeah.
Maybe that made
Mattel.
it gooder.
Is
because
Jenga
wood.
Mattel?
Let me see. Oh, it's Parker.
Parker. Don't they
Can't
make
touch
pens?
Parker, can you? You can't go near Parker, can you? Not after what happened.
Is Parker the Wait, what happened to Parker?
Oh, I couldn't possibly say, mate. Not in this sort of political climate.
Okay, all right.
No, nothing happened.
I thought Parker's made pens.
I guess one day they were just piling up all the pens, and then they thought, "Oh my god, this could be a game."
Yeah. We could.
But then complaints came back, and they were, a lot of people were saying, "Well, we're balancing these pens, and it's a fun game,
Yeah.
but we're getting ink all over our hands."
we're getting complaints that people can't write with these blocks of wood. The factories that mess up.
You've introduced the wood way too early. They've only got pens at this point.
Okay.
So they've
That's
got a
further
bunch of
down the line.
pens. They've got a bunch of pens, and then people are saying we're getting ink all over our hands. But also, I can't find a pen in this darn place. I got to write something down. I got to write a note, and there's old Jimmy Workshy in the corner. He's playing whatever game with the pens, with the Parker pens.
Yeah.
They called it the Parker Pile Up. That was the original name of the game. So then
really
they decided, let's try to use different materials that won't get complaints. So they kept making the pens, but then they started with they tried socks, but that didn't go very well. It's called Parker pairs, because you had pairs of socks and you had to put them up. And then they thought, well, Parker pears, we'll just change it to Parker pears the fruit. So then they started selling fruit. But then the fruit started going off, because you know how pears are, don't you? They go off like very quickly. All of a sudden they're not ripe. Okay, we're ripe, and now we're not ripe. We're all smushy. And then they tried uranium rods. That made the news, didn't it? Lots of people didn't like that because the food that they wanted to eat cold kept getting microwaved, didn't it? Whenever they brought it too close to the game board. And then eventually...
Chatting Pitch has been brought to you by Leslie Way and Matthew D. Smith. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to listen to others and maybe even subscribe. You can follow us on the website, formerly known as Twitter.
Listen to us on Spotify or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Leslie and Matthew have their own side hustles as well. Feel free to check out Leslie's YouTube channel or Matthew's Medium blog. Links in the description. If you want anything else, we might have other links in the description if we think of anything interesting to add. Thank you for listening. I love you.